Namaste, beloveds. This is Mother with Wisdom, and it's been a while since I've done a video, but I've been feeling the need to do one. So um, here we go. The title of this video is Spiritual Will versus Mental Will. And excuse my bags, but I have not been sleeping, and then I've been sleeping through days. So um, I am what I call transmuting a lot of energies, as well as receiving a lot of energies, as well as getting myself acclimated to the speed of um, the integration of energies at this time, and just learning how to be very present um, in this now moment, in the new fluidity, the new wave, the new um, way, the new frequency of being. It is a much higher frequency. It is a mm, much more expansive um, fluidity and frequency. It requires you to be very fluid. And if you have been kind of stuck before, or have been very rock solid, so to speak, in an unmoving kind of energy before, that's not going to get it right now. And you're going to have to adapt, and you're going to have to lean in to this flow and frequency, and just integrate your what you thought or what you think of yourself, and just surrender to it, and just be one with it, and let it take you where you're destined to go. I'll put it that way. And let me just move on. That was just explaining these dark circles, and it's not just makeup, it's a lot of stuff going on. So, and beloveds, I know you feel it just the way I feel it. So, um, it's no surprise, or it's no shock. And this is not about the physical. This is not about what is seen and judged. This is about the unseen presence that is speaking to us, that we are consciously coming into awareness of, and contact with, and merging with, and uniting with, marrying, so to speak, making love with, forming a committed relationship with, as one. No longer seeing yourself as separate from it, but being the bride of it, so to speak. Being that sacred bride, and understanding that this is hallowed ground. This is a very sacred space. It is spiritual space. And it has been a long time coming. It has been prophesied, and it is making its appearance. It's making its way. And those who are sensitive understand the type of surrendering of the egoic or human logic or will or mind to it. And they're understanding the wisdom of that. Okay, let me just go with what I wrote, and I know that I'll be stopping and starting. But again, this is called Spiritual Will versus Mental Will. 1. Learn to harness the energies of your spirit. You are made of water. Everything in creation came from those black depths of the abyss. those black depths of nothingness being the potential of everything. Those black depths that were teeming with possibilities of everything and nothing, of order and chaos, all combined as one. That was the abyss. That is where creation came from. We, in the Christian term, or in the metaphysical community, or however you want to term that, describe it as the light separating from the dark. Understand that these are frequencies. Understand that it's vibrational. Understand again that the source is water. Understand that Imasuro Emoto, I'm not sure of the name, the Japanese scientist who showed us how emotions and frequencies and sounds and sentiments even can affect the water. Excuse me, I'm not going to take this. There we go. Nope, that didn't do it. Sorry about that. The scientist, the Japanese scientist who, I believe he's Japanese. Let me focus and bring myself back. We learned that different emotions and feelings and sounds and music and thoughts can be shown when water is frozen or affected. And it holds those frequencies, it holds those memories, it holds the thought form. It kind of freezes it or pauses it in its own Polaroid snapshot, so to speak. And those are what memories are. And that is what we came from. We came from that alchemical mixture. We have Bruce Lee telling us to be like water. That is to be like what you came from before you separated. That is knowing that you are whole. And that is to not resist the spirit of who you are with the mental thoughts of what you are. Yeah, that was good. Let me keep going forward, beloved. I'm going to repeat what I wrote. Learn to harness the energies of your spirit. You are more of water than you are made of water. Everything in creation came from those black depths. Sonic frequencies cause division. Thus, light separated from dark or form from the formless. And we need to start focusing more in our understanding and our conscious awareness of the seen and the unseen. And if that relates more with those two words, relate more for you with form and formless, seen and unseen, then latch on to them and allow them to nourish you, allow them to guide you, allow them to help you expand out of your chains, out of your bondage that your mind has strapped you into, saying that you're this limited only to what you can see. You are so much more than that. You are so much more. You are so much, you consist of so much more than what your physical eyes can gaze upon and know and decipher and discern. You consist of elements and frequencies and tones and sounds that you cannot see or that do not always register to the ears. But this is who you are. And the more you get in tune, the more you align with the wholeness, with this unseen as well as the seen. The unseen is the spiritual portion of you. The seen is the physical portion, the mental portion. The mental regulates the physical. You think I can move my fingers, thus my fingers move. Spiritual, I'm moving. I'm not being still. I'm not sitting here. I'm all over the place. That's why we say, let me ground myself. Let me come back here and be present right here. Because I'm universal. There are unseen parts of me way across the universe, way in the multiverse somewhere. And I have to say, wait a minute, let me bring myself back. Because I'll zone out and I'll be gone. Understand yourself as still this fluid, spiritual essence, being, able to absorb, able to create, able to retain, able to remember, able to resuscitate, able to rejuvenate, able to reset, able to resurrect. Every single memory that you have recorded within your being, your water carries all of it. But you have to be still enough and in tune enough and present enough and grounded enough in this earth density to bypass the mind's thoughts, knowledge, byplay, narration. It wants to be the referee. It wants to dictate. It wants to be the coach. It wants to be God. You are God, not your mind. Your mind is very limited in its capabilities. But our minds have fooled us. Our minds have taken over, taken control. Our minds keep us so wrapped up in the chaos of the yin and the yang fluidity that we no longer hear the stillness, the silence. We're more tuned to the you know, and that is what makes you worry. That is what stresses you out. That is what causes all kind of anxiety because you want to meet it. You want to be able to survive it. You want to be able to head it off. You want to control. I know it's coming. Be water. You were created water. You can meet it. You can absorb it. You can build a wall against it. You can become tsunami and push it away. You can have the patience with each drip, drip, drip. Because you know some things they take more effort, they take more time. And effort is not giving the tsunami all in a snap. No, it's the wearing away, the constant friction, the constant motion, the constant effort, the constant intention. Don't lose focus. There was something that wanted to be said around that. It'll come back. It'll come back. I get ahead of myself sometimes. Now it's like, what was that? What was that? That was so good. It was so juicy. The water. Just learn to be the water, beloveds. That's the first thing we realize and recognize in the womb. It is the warmth. It is the nourishment. It is the safeness. It is what protects us even from the jolts. Even if our mother is with an abusive spouse or in the situation and they're being physically hit and bumped around, that water protects us, that amniotic fluid. When you think of space, we think of space as being this solid mass. It's not. It's the abyss. It's depths of water. It's fluid. It's not mass. It's not solid mass. It's fluid. It's liquid. It's measured by volume. Okay. Also, water is symbolic of spirit. Water is symbolic of spirit. Water is also symbolic of people. In the book of Revelations, water is used to symbolize people. Over the waters, it means over the people. So we've been given all of this. I'm not saying anything, just pulling it out of my tail, so to speak. All of this is natural. The indigenous ones knew this. It has taken us centuries to forget. And it is going to take us centuries to remember, to get back to our original states. Because we are at spiritual warfare with our minds, not with other beings, beloveds, with the powers and principalities of the mind. The mind believes that it is separate, it is solid, it is not fluid. And it wants to dominate, it wants to be superior. It wants to keep you enslaved. All throughout the Bible, when the Israelites were in bondage, each time they were in bondage because they did not listen to spirit, to the commandment of spirit. They became enamored with the mind, with the ways. They were seduced by their minds, by the minds of others, by what they saw instead of what they knew in their spirits. They rejected that. They rejected that spiritual knowing for some physical, pretty, glittery, shiny, loud bass and make it go boom, you know, not understanding that the elementals don't nothing make it go boom like the elementals, baby. And so we have got to remind our mind because it has forgotten that it is the little brother, little sister, so to speak. It is not the elder. It does not inherit the kingdom. The kingdom belongs to the spirit. Okay, let me go to the next one. 2. This yin and yang, darkness and light, are your polarities. It is the paradox. The paradox is they are one and they are, let me begin again, beloveds. Hold on just a second. Let me pause. Didn't pause. Okay. 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 Okay, beloveds. This is getting deep. Let me focus here. Um, for some reason, I was told to look at the little clock thing going, and it was 22:55:15, and added all that up, and it came out to the um, whole spiritual number 11, which is a doorway, which is a window, which is an opening. So for this to be coming, it's really powerful right now with the moon and all of that, and it's a pink moon. So there's lots going on. There's lots going on. Let me pull it back so that it's not so jumbled. Going back into number 2, and this video is titled Spiritual Will versus Mental Will. Number 2, this yin and yang, darkness and light, are your polarities. The paradox is they are one, only the mind refuses this wisdom. What does that mean? This yin and yang, darkness and light, are your polarities. Beloveds, polarities are polar opposites of each other. So this light and darkness, this on and off, this male and female, this thing that is separated but cannot exist without the other. It is indeed one. You cannot have a dime without it having a head or a tail to it. It has to have, both sides have to be there in order for that to be a valid coin. we are the same. We cannot be here in existence thinking we are only this physical and rejecting the spiritual, or being in such a flux between the two that we consider ourselves, oh, we're sinning, we can't do anything right, there is no perfection, there will never be a perfection if you're only working with one half of yourself. You will always be, as Solomon said, striving against the wind. All will be vanity. All is not vanity, beloveds. All is existence. Okay. Only the mind refuses the wisdom. The mind refuses the wisdom because it clings to its own logic, its own willful logic, its own narcissistic center that I am. I am this physical. I am not the spiritual. I am only this physical. And this physical is the real world. This physical, what is it? What I think I do, because I can think this and I do this, this is what is real. That is so limited. That is why we're at war with ourselves. I'll get to that. I wrote that in there. Let me keep going. Only the mind refuses this wisdom. The mind created a will of its own in order to compete against spiritual will, refusing to share the kingdom. That is so deep, beloveds. When I wrote that, I had to pause myself, because when you really think about those words in that order, what it's saying to you, that the mind created a will of its own in order to compete against spiritual will, refusing to share the kingdom of conscious awareness. It feels it must rule because it is superior. It is logic of violence against itself. It is logic of violence and is against itself. Its denial of its wholeness is self-hate. So, if we heard the kingdom of God is within, and the mind refuses that kind of wisdom, and it says, no, the kingdom is without, it's outside of your body, and you make it. What you think makes up the kingdom. And you have to fight to keep your kingdom, and you have to do this, and you have to have this in it, and this has to be in its right place, and then this has to be there, and then this has to be there, and then this has to be there, and that has to be there, and this. The mind comes up with all this logic for the kingdom because it has rejected the kingdom is within. And it's going to keep you so focused and so busy on maintaining this outside, worldly, physical kingdom that you neglect and abuse by the neglect your spiritual kingdom within. It's like those two wolves. Which becomes more powerful? The one you feed. If you're all time in this mental space of, I got to maintain my kingdom, I got to grind, I got to get this money, there you are on that hamster wheel, just turning and turning and turning. There you are, that dog chasing his tail. There you are, this concept of vanity chasing vanity. This is where we have to realize we have been doing for a very long time as human beings, being totally 100% human, with human logic, using a twisted form of spirituality to keep us in this mental cage. True spirituality is within. That's the water within you that remembers creation before it even separated. Recently, and I know why this is coming up, but I'll go there. Recently, Tiamat came back up. She resurfaced for me in my conscious awareness. And I guess it's her time once again to emerge, so to speak, in my own awareness. Um, and the energy from her, I'm going to use it as they say. That's how I often speak. Hashtag they say, DEYSAY. They say. Well, they say that just as the story of Christianity has been flip flop, twisted, and turned, the original story of Tiamat has been twisted, flip flopped, and turned upside down. And if you look at, take away any name given to it, that feminine essence, that feminine divine womb, that is what has been defiled. That is what has been invaded. That is what has been literally torn asunder by the mind, Marduk in Tiamat's case. Torn asunder and placed in different planets and different ways as wisdom keepers of different essences and energies that we've given chakras and hormonal and organs and we link different things to them because this is what controls this aspect of this particular spiritual alignment, connection, energy, frequency, wisdom. And we have to reassemble this. And we have to make it whole again. And we make it whole again by understanding, by taking the power away from the mind to manipulate and to manifest its own kingdom and hold that spirit not hostage, because the spirit has got all the patience in the world. She's like, you work it out. I'm here. I'm existence. I ain't going nowhere. You work it out. When we gonna work it out? Don't nobody know. That's up to us. But it is up to us to work it out. Let me get back to what I wrote. The mind created a will of its own. The light separated from the darkness. That which calls itself light separated itself from the darkness. So don't be fooled by the appearance that it is light. because all takes on the appearance. That don't mean it's the light. And don't let the flip-flopping of the darkness, which is the womb, the abyss, the primordial abyss, fool you into thinking that that's the wrong, that's the bad, that's the negative. That is the all and the everything. Without it, nothing exists because everything comes out of it. Don't get it twisted. Refusing to share the kingdom of conscious awareness, it feels it must rule because it is superior in its logic of violence and is against itself. Its denial of its wholeness is self hate. Its denial of its wholeness is self hate. And let me go to, once again, I'm going to use the Christian framework for this. And we would speak of Satan, the devil, the original liar, the deceiver, the fork-tongued serpent, cunning. The serpent was the most cunning, not the most wise, baby. Not the most wise. Don't get it twisted. Not the most wise, but the most cunning. Okay? Cunning, petty, cruel. Know how to work it, manipulate it, flip, flop, twist, and pretzel that sucker, okay? You did? Cunning. Why? Because it had observed Adam and Eve. It had observed Lilith and Adam. It observed. Cunning. Took its time, knew when to strike, knew what to use to seduce. Observed. Knew what you wanted. Knew what Eve wanted. Knew how to get in there. Knew how to use her to get at Adam. Observe. Cunning. And some people say cunning is wise. But baby, that's where you leave out the universal laws of what you do comes back to you. So what you gonna bite, gonna eventually bite your ass back. Cunning. The mind is that serpent. The mind has been observing existence since before it separated itself and created its own kingdom, manifested its own beings, incarnated spirits had to go into. Okay, what you think we incarnate here for? To expand the conscious awareness of what? This enlightenment. This enlightenment, okay? Because you can't expand upon the darkness. It's vast beyond. It's the light that expands and gets bigger. Just like that, the eye, the pupil. Okay, they are just right now. So let me keep going. Let me, like I said, ground, ground, ground. Um, the mind created a will of its own in order to compete against spiritual will, refusing to share the kingdom of conscious awareness. It feels it must rule because it is superior in its logical violence against itself. Its denial of its wholeness is self hate, which insists on manifesting and needing the polarities of freedom and slavery. Needing the polarities of freedom and slavery. The mind must maintain these two polarities at all costs: freedom and slavery. And I want you, okay, excuse me, beloved. They say, the oldest profession in the book. Look at the pimps and the prostitutes. That will tell you about freedom and slavery. The bond servant, the bond woman, bound, that divine feminine, that womb, that great abyss of potential, universal, galactic potential, bound and enslaved by a mind, a human mind, a mind that incarnated through her womb. Beloveds, you are not at war with flesh and blood. You are not at war with flesh and blood. You are at war with powers and principalities. The power are those that can control the mind, that can influence the mind. What influences minds? Thoughts, ideas, concepts are what seduce. That's that cunning. That's the power. That's the power that will overtake the spirit, because the mind will put more value on what it sees and what it knows in the physical, in the seen, rather than in the unseen. And don't get to thinking that the unseen is all good. And no, there's balance everywhere, beloveds. Even in the unseen, you will come across things that you will need to overcome because they have been put there by the mind. It is a thought form that is taken on whatever it has taken on some kind of form, to even register as a monster, as a demon, as some kind of situation that you have to combat. Or compete against. It is up to you to know yourself as spiritual beings. You are a spirit that incarnated into flesh. You are a spirit that was downloaded into a fleshly body to do spiritual things, to establish a spiritual kingdom upon this earth, not a physical one, ruled by whoever feels that they are more supreme, based upon the violence that they can inflict, based upon the cunning that they can use, based upon those that they can put their knee on their neck. Based upon those that they can dehumanize. How do they dehumanize you? By saying your spirit ain't free. You so busy worried about, well, the color of my skin should be worth something. What's it worth? What's it worth? In spiritual terms, how much is it worth? How much is your spiritual will worth? Because it has no color. It has no gender. It is existence itself. It cannot be divined, divided. It has never left you. That's in your mind. That's your mental construct, putting you in chains and in a cage. This world is run on thoughts, on ideas, on ideologies, on philosophies. And these different things have given it the power that it needs to keep manifesting. More heads, more heads, more heads, more heads. You know how Durga got into that fight with that demon and it kept on morphing into something else. And then, it took the form of a bull or an ox and it just kept coming more heads, more heads. As soon as she chop it off, another one grow. And finally, what happened? Kali came out. That's that patience. That's that, okay, I didn't have enough. We done. We about to dance. We about to unite. No more separation. I'm about to get with you. I'm about to get busy with you. I'm about to absorb you. I'm about to take you back home. All back up in this. Come on. When the veils of the temple had been rent, understand what that meant, beloveds. It was the Shekinah that dwelled there. It was her presence that was there, that was guiding. It was her energy, her frequency, her womb, her abyss, her depths, her blackness that was rejected. So when you read the Song of Solomon, read it again and understand why she's Sophia of Sheba says about her skin, about the color, her color, my blackness, because I am what existed before the separation took place. I am the one. I am the two. I am the all, and I am the nothing, all at the same time. I am existence, baby. Absolute harmony is spiritual flow. It's get your spiritual will together. Learn how to find that place within yourself that the mind cannot enter. You leave all of that mental baggage outside. Yesterday, tomorrow, this minute, the next 10 minutes, they don't exist. Not when you're here. Because when you're here, those things don't need to exist because everything is one. Every single dimension, every single galaxy, every single multiverse, every single instance, every single history, written and unwritten, right there. There is no denying this sacred space, this spiritual dwelling place within you. It is the consciousness which you arrived, which you incarnated with before it was filled with my name is, I am my mama is this, my color is this, my culture is this. I am from the east, west, north, south of what? Creation, existence. What? What block you claiming? Hmm? What color you claiming? Because if you got to claim one, that means you got to reject some more. So, keep those polarities and the paradoxes in mind because the universal laws were going to bite your ass because, you so focused. Beloveds, again, look at what is taking place in our world. I live in the United States, so I'm just going to focus there. Excuse me if I'm being insensitive to other places. It's not because I do not feel them, because I do. Right now, in the United States, everything seems to be north and south, black and white, blue and black, male versus female. Spirit versus mental, as it should be. All is reflecting what is. What we're witnessing constantly through a spiritual lens is a reflection of our minds, our spiritual minds and our physical minds. Which one do we give more credence to? Which one do we empower? Which one do we believe? Which one do we put more faith in? During the George Floyd trial, I heard so many speak of how they were scared about the outcome because they had been denied justice so many times, and that this was not new to them. The witnessing of Black life being taken away in front of their eyes, it was not new. Not to them, not to their spirits, not to their souls, not to their genetic memories. It wasn't new to them. And they didn't have faith. They had a hard time putting faith in the outcome of justice finally being served. Finally being served. Them. Justice being served to them. Here, come drink this justice. Here, here, thirsty ones. Here, hungry ones. Here, slaves. Here, babies. Here, finally, here. Here you go. Here goes some justice, baby. Faith the size of a mustard seed, y'all. And because the mind has said, you ain't worthy of this, they ain't giving you this. We changed. We changed. Ain't nothing gonna change. This just another day. Ain't nothing gonna change. No. This the way it is. Generate the spirit. Do not put your trust in men, baby. Justice is not dependent on men. Justice is a frequency. Justice ain't no piece of paper. Justice ain't no courtroom. Justice is part of that abyss. It's part of that blackness. When that light separated itself, it brought its own justice upon itself. I am a sinner. I am not whole. I am unholy. I am a whore. I am a bitch. Make money. That's my God. Don't let him. Don't let him fool you. That serpent, baby, it's old. It's ancient. It's wise. It's cunning. And guess what it wants? It wants your spiritual freedom because that's your power. That's the source of who you are. You incarnated with that. That was your gift. That was your grace. And every now and then, you realign with it. Just think if you set your intentions and your integrity upon spiritual values which created and gave birth to universal laws. You got to have both. You got to know. Because see, when it says my people die from from ignorance, from lack of knowledge, you don't know. What you do is gonna come back to you. Them frequencies, that pettiness, that being so paranoid, that mind keeps you in that cage, baby. And those demons are going to manifest as thoughts, and they are going to try to seduce you because they have observed you. They have observed humankind. Ain't nothing new up under the sun. I know how to get you. If I can't get you this way, I'm going to come at you that way. But I'm going to get you. No, you can only get my mind. So only if I'm playing with my mind can I be got. But when I ain't playing with my mind, you can't play with me because I'm existence. I'm everything. I will absorb you, baby. And in the absorption, I will transform your energy because I'm that womb. I'm that way. I'm that yin and that yang. And I'm at peace with that. And I make peace with that every day because I know what it is to be in the grips of the mind. I know what it is to be pimped out there. I know what it is to be sex trafficked out there. Girl, you better wear this. You too fat. You too this. You too that. You ain't nobody gonna love you. Girl. Who I am. You got to use your third eye to see me, baby. If all you see is this, you're limited. You're limited. You ain't up to snuff. They say you ain't up to snuff. I don't want to make this longer and longer and longer, beloveds, because there is so much going on. But understand the things that you're seeing. Understand the wane. Understand what you're seeing. It's being balanced before you. What is spiritual and what is physical. If it don't make sense, In your spiritual mind, in your heart, that means it's not spiritual. It's mental and it's physical and it's coming from the mind. Its roots, its source is from the mind, which means it's demonic, which means it's separate, which means it's only thinking of itself because it is a narcissistic, masochistic frequency. Okay? It doesn't have your best interest at heart. It wants to consume you. Don't take it personal. You are spiritual. Talk to the hand. I know who I am. And it's just that simple. I ain't got to fight with you. I ain't got to argue with you. I ain't got to go toe to toe. I ain't got to bleed for you. I ain't got to break my heart for you. I love you because I know that you know, you that handicapped one. You think you split. You think you mind. That makes you impoverished in your spirit. That makes you do stupid shit. That makes you do violent shit. That makes you do petty stuff. That makes you vicious. I could be trying to help you. You gonna bite the hell out of me. You gonna kill me. Because I'm coming with my heart. You scared of that. We have a long way to go. But see and hear with your spiritual self, not your physical. Close that down. That 11. Go through that gate, go through that door, go through that window and leave that mental behind you. Step out of it. Step out of that matrix like Neo. Know that you are the one at any time, at any given moment, in any situation. There's always redemption. There is always reclamation. There's always repudiation. There's always resurrection. Surrender that mind. And beloveds, I know, like I said, read scriptures. If you're so worn against your heart, your spiritual heart is so hurt by the memories of what the religion has done to you, ask for revelations, ask for signs, ask for them to be clear, ask for them to repeat themselves until you get it. Be around those whose presence is unconditional love. Those who are striving for unconditional love within themselves. Everybody is fighting their own battle against their own minds. Some are doing better than others. Look around you, you can see that. And it's not about how much education you have or how much wealth or where you were born. It doesn't have anything to do with that, beloveds. You are a spiritual incarnation. Everything you need is within you. Don't let this outside fool you. It is cunning. Read about when Jesus was fasting and his mental was overcoming him so much that Satan was able to appear in his conscious awareness because he was suffering from his mind that much in the moments. And that mind was blah, 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 blah. Eat that rock. You know you can turn it into bread. You know what? This is my world, but I can give you everything. You know, you just bend down one little knee, just bow your head one time, and all you see, I'll give it to you. Just bend it one little. Just look like you been in it, and it shows. All of it, whatever you want. How many women you want? What you want? I know you want something. Come on. And what did Jesus say? He didn't say, devil, this ain't your world. What the hell you talking? This is your stuff. But I don't want none of this. I'm not from here. I don't want this stuff. Don't mean nothing because it's here today and gone tomorrow. Because it's mental. I'm everlasting. I'm spiritual. I'm eternal. Why would I trade off that way? What why would I trade that off? See, Jesus didn't doubt himself. That's the difference between Jesus and Adam and Eve and Lilith. Lilith didn't doubt herself. She said, the hell with you, and flew on. Okay? Know who you are as a spiritual being, as existence. Do not get sidetracked. Do not get sidetracked with the promise of romance. Do not get sidetracked with the promise of wealth. Do not get sidetracked with the promise of fame. Do not get sidetracked. You are a spiritual being. You incarnated for a reason. That reason is to expand conscious awareness so that the kingdom of heaven resides upon the earth. That is your mission. That is your purpose. Beloveds, like I said, everything is energy. The things that you see with the eyes, understand they will come and go. The beings you will see, they will come and go. And you can say this is right or this is wrong and this is this and this is that and that is this. And you will have people, sages, that will tell you all that you see and you think it's real. It's an illusion. You're dreaming. Your conscious awareness is creating this film, this odyssey, this adventure. Why? So you can expand your spiritual consciousness. So that you integrate your light and your dark, your shadow and your light, your love and your unconditional love. Back into one. One love. Again, you're looking at these QAnon folks. You're looking at the Republican parties. You're looking at white against black. You're wondering why all of this is going on. I'm going to tell you, if you do that census all over again, you will understand that the white population is no longer the majority in America. It is now the minority. And it is only from that place of sovereignty, of freedom, will the soil be fertile enough to throw seeds upon, and they grow for all. There has to be a freeing, a reclamation of freedom. And it comes at the price, as the Bible said. Those who were, how does it go? Those who were first will be made last, and then those who were last will be made first. Understand that that's cyclical, seasonal, in ages. Doesn't happen one time, oh, that's it. No, not until we bring heaven upon earth. It's going to keep cycling, keep going that way, they say. But when you began to recognize the spiritual threads, the spiritual pattern, and not the physical pattern, you'll know how to bring everything in alignment. You know how to use that magic carpet. You'll know how to use that garment, that spiritual woven garment, that womb, that web, that is more spiritual than it is physical. Because it will incarnate through each of you, as each of you are a thread. Each of you are a seed. Each of you are a ray, and each of you are a frequency. We are spiritual beings made of water. We don't know how valuable water is. Look at what we're doing to it. Look at what we're doing to the water on this earth. That's what the mind is doing to the spirit. The mind is attacking the spirit. We see that symbolically in the physical waters, in the spiritual waters. And we don't know that what we do to the water, we're doing to ourselves. The mind don't care because it believes it's separate anyway. Take the side of wholeness. Take the side of spirituality. Not some spirituality taught by man or that's logical from a mental standpoint, but that which you incarnated with, that which has no name or no label or none of that. So Let me stop for one
Call
moment.
from
Beloved.
Gonzalez Jose Earth.
Okay, beloveds. I just got a call saying that my Amazon account has been hacked and somebody tried to order a computer and all of this and all of that. So, like I said, the minions is busy. They're busy, busy, busy. So, I am going to um, close out this video now and go handle my business. And don't know if this is a prank call, a spam call, but I'm going to check with my bank. And I did open a Google thing because I wanted to do this video on Facebook Live, and it does not support my camera, so it said. So I don't know if by opening that Google thing and trying to hook it up to Facebook, that kind of opened something up, but I'm fun to see. So, because I know that, like I said, beloved, existence exists, and existence is one, but there are polarities of the frequencies, and you have to be aware of those frequencies.
Call from
Hello?
अबे यार माइक देखिए तुमने
Pardon me?
Yes ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, we got disconnected. Can you tell me what do you see on your computer screen?
Well, I'm recording our conversation right now. Can you repeat that for me, please?
Right, I said, what do you see on your computer?
Well, we'll need to start the whole process over again. Could you tell me what you're calling for again? Because, again, I'm recording this conversation.
Why?
Well, because it could be a scam.
This is not a scam. I'm recording this conversation. Tell me from the beginning.
Where are you calling from again? Hello? Hello? Ah, you hung up, huh? They hung up. They hung up. Beloveds, be vigilant with your spirit, because there are, as the Bible say, other incarnated minds out there in the forms of lions who are seeking to devour you, actively seeking to devour you, because you are consciously aware of their existence. Do not be afraid, beloveds. Who, what, where, when, how you are has no beginning and has no ending. They were thought up, so they had a beginning, and they will have an ending. In Revelations, that ending is called the second death. Read about it. It comes about by the element of fire. Remember I said we're going to set fire to the rain. We're going to light that water up. We're going to baptize it. We're going to christen it. We're going to immerse our spirits, which is fire and water, at the same time. You ain't one or the other. Understand and understand that things are going to come at you. My whole little um, video now is slow. It wasn't doing that before. A friend told me that was because of light. Let's see. Nope. It's still kind of slow, but we'll see. It is what it is, beloveds. What I'm saying is not new. You know these things. You've known these things each lifetime. Only now is it time for you to step up into your spiritual power, into your spiritual awareness fully. Don't let nobody slow you down. Be water, my friend. Don't let nobody slow you down. Don't let nobody put stumbling blocks. Don't let nobody trip you up with their mental pettiness. Okay? Stay grounded in the truth that you are spirit, that you are existing as spirit. And everything you encounter, that you see with your eyes, and that you feel outside of your being, is mental. Everything that you feel inside intuitively and instinctively is spiritual. And that is your truth. That is your true north. Again, don't let this world get you. It's going to try, because its survival depends upon it. So do not put yourself in a state of mind where you say, why is this happening to me? What did I do? That's redundant. You incarnated here for a purpose. Your purpose is to expand your frequency, your spiritual will past that of the mind. Expand your mind. Break your mind free of whatever it has of its own boxes. Get your sledgehammer, get your wrecking ball. Knock them walls down. Face your fears. Let it see your spirit face. Show it your spirit face. I bet you it backs up. I bet you it gives you peace. And I bet you it gives you joy. Call that energy into your awareness. Generations, ancestral wisdom, ancestral strength, ancestral knowing, ancestral prayers. You are spiritual. You are fluid. You are water. Align yourself with those memories, with those knowings, with that way of being. Put yourself in it. Lean into it. Don't let this world move you. Don't let this world tell you who you is and who you ain't, and who your mama was and who she wasn't, and who your daddy was and who he wasn't. Forgive the mind for its weakness. For its ability, its desires to be seduced away from the spirit. It wanting its own identity. That's a form of self-hate. Understand the manifestations that emanate from that kind of self-hate and lack of self-worth that you see playing out all over this world, this man's world. Again, beloveds, I'm going to end this communication now, and I hope that you find the things that you need within it. You can rewind it, you can replay it, you can build your ministry off of some of it, you can go look up what you need to. I hope it touched your heart and spoke to your heart and reached you as a collective member of my spiritual tribe. We speak the same language. We see with the same eyes. We hear with the same ears. Stay vigilant, beloveds. It is not because you fear that you are vigilant. It is because you are wise beyond cunning. You are wise to the cunning, to the ways of cunning and manipulative. Okay? So be vigilant, not of what's outside of you, but what's inside of you. Be vigilant of your thoughts. That doesn't mean sit there and overthink them. That means hear what your mind is up to and be able to hear and see what others' minds are up to and be able to discern how that is playing out in the world. And then share that with others who need to hear it and know it and feel it in their conscious awareness. Okay, beloveds, namaste. This was a spiritual will versus mental will video. and I will be posting it soon. Thank you. Oh, and I know, some of the some of the things that didn't get. I thought it was paused, and it wasn't paused, and I'm not a video editor, so everything is live and it's just the way it is. And um, I ask you not to hold that against me. So it is what it is, beloveds. Thank you.